Martha was preparing for an awards ceremony organized by her employer, Hendricks, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Neither Hendricks nor Palmer are among the firm's partners, but the name Help looks catchy if you look in the yellow pages under Attorneys. However, Hendricks works in the mailroom and Palmer is in land care. Each year after the final audit results are received, Help recognizes the top employees with certificates and awards. Martha has worked here for the past 15 years, 5 years as bookkeeper, and the last 10 years as assistant to the president, Jack Emerson himself. Let me give you a little bit of information about us. I am 45 years old, 5'10", B-cup, short-cut blonde hair. As for my wife, she is 42 years old, 5'9", C-plus cups and shoulder-length blonde hair. Let's just say she is the main beauty in our family. We've been married for 18 years and have been unable to have children. Or rather, I could spread my seed, but Martha has a uterine defect. Anyway, Martha was getting ready upstairs. She had done her hair and manicure this afternoon and was now putting the finishing touches on her makeup and dress. I had been ready for an hour, having only had time to shave and put on my tuxedo. Finally, Martha came downstairs. She knew that I would be sipping brandy in the living room waiting for her, and that I would have a perfect view of her descent among the crowd of Martha fans. That's me. She was the epitome of a dream. Her dress ended just below her knees, showing off her perfect calves. Starting in the middle of her pantyhose, the dress fit her body so tightly that it seemed to be painted on her. The front had a deep neck opening, and when she turned around to show me all of it, almost her entire back was exposed. "So, honey," Martha asked, "how do I look?" Many words ran through my mind. Slutty, lecherous, but none of them I could say out loud. But I had to be honest about my reaction, lecherous and sexually energized. "Honey," I said, "you look like $1 million. She glowed at the compliment. She walked over to me and kissed me chastely on the cheek. "You're so cute," she said simply. And it was as profuse as she'd said to me in the last couple years. Yes, I'm that drowsy. 2 years beforehand, I realized I was no longer participating in my wife's effective life. I swear she shows more love to our dog than she does to me. We heard someone honking outside. The limo was here. There's a lot of drinking at these gatherings, so the firm would pay for a limo or a hotel room where the evening was held. Usually there is a little socializing before the formal dinner, and the awards ceremony starts just before dessert is served. We were a little late and didn't arrive until 30 minutes after dinner started. Not 10 seconds later, Brad Lake pounced on Martha, complimenting her, both laughing and giggling, completely oblivious to me. Without a glance in my direction, Lake grabbed Martha and dragged her to the back of the ballroom. They disappeared from sight when they reached the casement doors at the end of the ballroom. I was about to follow them when Jack Emerson grabbed my hand. "How nice to see you again, Bert," he said loudly to me. I tried to pull away, but he didn't succeed. Emerson started dragging me toward the main VIP table, next to the slightly elevated platform where the awards would be presented. "Sit with us," he said. "Martha and you will sit at my table." It was impossible to resist him unless I wanted to be very rude in front of all the staff and many important customers. I stopped backing down when I saw several employees disappear through the same casement doors, including young Pete, their IT guy with hard-rimmed glasses, pocket protector, pens, and all. Pete was the son of a college friend of mine. A few months ago, I had asked Martha to pass along kind words to her employer to help him get the job. I felt safer knowing he would look out for Martha. 10 minutes later, I was sitting at the VIP table chatting with Mrs. Emerson when Jack Emerson stood up and headed to the back of the ballroom. As if perfectly choreographed, he walked through the casement doors and Brad Lake emerged from there. Many of you know what was on Lake's face. Yes, the famous smirk that is so eloquent, the smirk he kept on his face just for me. It disappeared as he sat there making excuses to his boss's wife for his absence. The smirk reappeared when he turned to me. "So, Bert," he said, "Martha looks terrific tonight. How was your evening?" "It started out great, Brad," lied I. I turned to him and lowered my voice. Not 5 minutes after we walked in, Martha gave me one of her skillful sex favors. The smirk left Lake's face. It took a few seconds before the meaning of my words reached me. Then Lake turned around and sprawled all over the floor near the table. I began to gently pat Lake on the back. "It's okay, buddy," I said loudly. "Let it all out and you'll feel better." Several dozen people turned in our direction, many with surprise written all over their faces and many with disgust. Putting my thumb to my lips, I imitated someone drinking, addressing the gathered crowd. Lake would probably get a few disapproving looks over the course of the evening. The noise reached the people outside the ballroom, and soon my wife, Emerson, and I reappeared, just in time to see the attendants busy mopping the floor. I looked around. I saw other people mimicking the drink sign, and it made me smile. Finally, I spotted young Pete. He gave me a thumbs up before leaving the ballroom. A tall, thin man in livery approached our table. "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will be your attendant tonight," he said in a strong Indian accent. "My name is Samir Noff, but all Americans call me Vodka. I don't know why." Brad, never one for political correctness, interrupted him sharply. "Hey, Mohammed, in English the plural of lady is lady," Brad said. "Now get me a scotch on the rocks." "Well, my dear sir," Samir said, "I work in the hotel lounge and I can tell you there's only one lady at the table." And he left. We had a great dinner, although Brad Lake looked sour most of the time, unable to be his charming self. After dessert, the awards ceremony began. Several employees were recognized for good work. As Emerson was about to end the awards ceremony and invite everyone to continue the party, I stood up and walked over to the dais with a glass of wine in my hand. I grabbed the microphone and gently pulled Emerson away from the lectern. He was surprised by my action and didn't know how to respond. "I would like to offer a moral reward to the many of us gathered here tonight," I began, to Emerson's visible relief. "There are many spouses who are instrumental in the success of their tender halves, starting with you, Mrs. Emerson." Both Mrs. Emerson and her husband were smiling now. "Where would your husband be if you didn't support him?" I asked rhetorically. Rhetorically, I asked. "Still in the kitchen, trying to figure out how to work that damn new coffee maker," she replied, loud enough to cause an explosion of laughter amongst those present. "Hey, she's the boss's wife, and a little backstabbing never hurts." "I'd like to propose a toast," I said as the laughter subsided, "to all the loving wives and loving husbands who are so important to the success of this firm. Let's drink." Emerson stepped closer, thinking my little speech was over, but I barred him from the lectern. "And I'd like to present my personal awards that are close to my heart," I continued. I looked over and saw Pete standing not far from the VIP table, and next to him an unshaven big guy in a cheap suit holding several manila envelopes. "One," I said. "To you, Mr. Emerson, as head of the firm and Martha's boss." The unshaven guy held out 2 envelopes to Emerson and snapped a picture. "To Brad Lake." An envelope appeared in his hands. "And to my loving wife, Martha. She takes her role in improving employee satisfaction in the company very seriously." Now all 3 began to open the envelopes. "There's no need to open the envelopes all at once," I said. "You're just being served. You, Mr. Emerson, this is a suit for alienation of affection for your affair with my wife and a suit against Hendricks, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer for failure to comply with the policy of non-brotherhood. You, Mr. Lake, this is a suit for alienation of affection for your affair with my wife. And you, my dear wife, this is a suit for divorce on the grounds of your infidelity." Without another word, I started to walk away, but Emerson grabbed my arm. "You're not going to get away with this little showdown, you son of a bitch," Emerson yelled. "I'm going to sue the pants off you." Enraged, I turned to face him. Emerson threw the envelopes to the floor and extended both arms in front of him like a judo player. "I know karate," he said. "So do I," I replied. "How is he?" It took Emerson a moment to realize my words, and I took advantage of his confusion to shove him in the back. He fell off the slightly elevated platform. I stepped down, walking past the VIP table. Brad Lake stepped toward me and whispered loud enough to be heard, "Fuck you and fuck the horse you rode in on, Sinclair." It took all of my martial arts training to keep from pouncing on him. Then I punched him in the nose, breaking it. "What?" "All my martial arts training is 40 hours in 6 months. I played hockey for 6 years. Hockey player 1 is martial art 0. No one else tried to stop me. Not even Martha, who opened her envelope and saw all the pictures taken not just today, but over the last 2 months. Young Pete helped me in this endeavor. Her envelope contained the most graphic of today's photos, thanks to his little camera in her lap, and she knew me better than to not believe in reconciliation. I heard a loud smack as I walked away. Mrs. Emerson probably got a good look at all the pictures, and Emerson would have to pay for it at home. When I saw her tonight, dressed to kill, I knew for a fact that she would blatantly betray me. I wasn't lying when I told her she looked like $1 million. I was just underestimating her worth. I was making out-of-court settlements, and she was worth over $2 million after taxes and attorney fees. Not bad for 3 months of work. I think it's hard work to keep your cool for that long, already knowing your spouse is cheating on you. I never even received an apology from Martha, an obvious sign that she had lost her love for me. The fact that she was now unemployed and a laughingstock in our small town could also explain her behavior. I knew only one reason for her behavior. She no longer loved me. I still don't understand why she didn't just divorce me, but I still have 2 million good reasons not to worry too much. Epilogue. We sold the house, too many memories, and split the proceeds, but I kept the dog. He's well fed.